Hello and welcome to ChurchSpring Live, episode 007. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Isabel. I'm part of the ChurchSpring customer success team here. And joining me today is Ron Gibson, co-founder of ChurchSpring.
Hello, everyone.
You guys are all in for an amazing episode. I will just say that. So if you have ever felt overwhelmed with social media for your church, how to use it, this is the episode for you. So stay tuned. We are going to discuss how churches can use social media. We will share some really helpful time-saving tips. And even we're going to give away some amazing resources that will just help you save time and stress. We will review a social media content calendar, what that even means for your church. And we are going to give away 101 ready to go social media posts that you can immediately use for your church. So if you want those 101 social media posts to use for your church, for your ministry, I want to hear from you. So drop a comment right now and just type in social if you want those free social media posts, and we will get you those. And then I'm also going to show you how you can schedule certain content right within your website. You can schedule social media posts to automatically post. So we've got a lot. Stay tuned. For those of you who are new to ChurchSpring, we are a software provider committed to the Great Commission. So we love working with you. We love working with church leaders and creating church websites and resources that can equip you. So we want to hear from you. So yes, we love seeing Ron, Pamela, Nikki, so many saying, yes, you want those free 101 social media posts. So, thank you. We can't wait. We want to hear from you. We want to know who's listening, who's tuning in. So share your church name, where you're from in the comments below. You will have to give StreamYard access so that we can display your name in our live stream here. But we cannot wait to hear more from you. Ron, hello. We love our site. You're from onehopecf.com. Awesome. We're super excited to have you. This won't be confusing to have two Rons here.
Two Rons. I know. This is so cool. It's so neat to see familiar faces in the comments.
Yes.
People who have been here before. So we had some people, who have been on a live stream before, who were posting where they were from and the name of their church before we even got going. So that is so awesome. It is so good to be with you all this morning. We were just talking. This is just one of the highlights of the week right here. Being able to come on, do this Facebook Live, actually, and now we're on YouTube as well. So those YouTube lovers out there, we're also streaming live on YouTube as well. So it's so good to be with you all here. Literally, we're getting so many comments. It's like, okay, we got Pamela joining as well. So welcome, Pamela, from Cochran Avenue Baptist Church in LA. So welcome. Awesome. So good to have you all here this morning. So just a couple of quick announcements and we're going to get in. We have got a power-packed episode, and that is, I feel like we're gradually getting better every single episode. This is number 7, and I'll tell you, we have some serious value for you today. And anyway, can't wait to dive in. So again, no matter what platform you're on, please leave comments. If you have questions throughout the episode today, please share those. If you have a question, please don't feel like, oh, maybe this is a bad question. Share it. And we'd be happy to answer any of those. I always tell my team, the only bad question is the one you have that you don't ask. So please share those questions. Go ahead and like this video. You can go ahead and share it. You can even do a watch party. You can tag a friend. If there's somebody even in your ministry that you think, man, they do our social media, they really need to be here. Feel free to tag them. They can even come back and watch it after the live is over. So we will be posting this episode again into Facebook as well as on YouTube. But we will be, most importantly, posting it on our website. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit, about the importance of your website, even with social media. So we're going to be posting it on our site with the video, in addition to all the resources we're going to talk about today. So don't feel like you've got to have a pen and paper ready and just writing everything down and then miss something. Just sit back, relax, go ahead, give it a listen.
Yep.
And then you can always go back, churchspring.com/CSL for ChurchSpring Live /CSL 007. You can see the video there. We'll have the show notes. We're going to give you resources there. So anyway, super excited for this episode and the resources that we can't wait to get into your hands. Before we jump in, one last thing. We want to talk a little bit about your desired outcome for your church website. So we're asking this question at the beginning of every episode because we want to make sure that we tailor these episodes to meet your specific needs. So what is the number one, and I'm going to ask you to engage here, so get your fingers ready. I want you to type in the comments. What is the number one outcome you hope to achieve with your church website? Okay. So again, I'm not going to give any examples. We're just going to leave it open-ended. What is the number one desired outcome you hope to achieve from your church website? So go ahead. I'm going to stop for a minute. Put your comments in the comments there. We'll wait just a minute. I want to see at least one. I want to see at least one. All right. I think we've got some fingers flying over there.
I can see the steam flying up from all those keyboards there.
Yes. Awesome. Well, welcome. I know we've had a few join since we just kicked things off. So welcome to all those who are joining us. Nikki Maloney, end user ease to get the info they need and want.
Yes.
Mission accomplished with ChurchSpring, and we're going to show you some more of that. Top Google search results. Yeah. So, Johnny, what is the ultimate thing you want to have happen from that? So you want to be at the top of Google. So are you hoping existing members find you and come and engage with your content? Are you looking for new people to come? So maybe give us a little clarity on that, Johnny. What is the end outcome that you want to see from even that top ranking there in Google? Number one, ease of use, updating the site to communicate God's word and our mission effective to our congregation and beyond. So this is awesome. Thank you all for jumping in there. We're going to jump into the content now. Again, as Isabel talked about, it's all about social media today. And so let's just dive on in.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about social media, Ron. I love social media. It is so important personally how I know what's going on with my church, of events, of changes. Currently, right now, we are going through the pandemic. And so it is one of, again, the main resources that I know of what to do when I'm going to church. How do I register? So let's address the question first. Does my church really need to use social media? Is it truly important to a church's communication style and plan?
Yeah, so I think the question I would have is, do you want to reach your community? And if the answer is yes, then the answer is yes.
Yep.
I was thinking about this just in preparation for this episode, in a couple different ways. So number one, social media is by far one of the most powerful digital church communication tools you have in your toolbox. One of the thoughts I actually had in my run this morning was, if Jesus was physically walking the earth today, would he use social media? So I'm going to kind of throw you that question, actually, Isabel. What do you think?
I think he probably would. I laugh when I think of Jesus walking along, pulling out his phone. Yeah. He would probably have some helpers to help with, Instagram stories and such.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that, and like, what are some applications? So if you think about the story of Peter, and when he was out there fishing all night, didn't catch anything, Jesus was teaching on the shore, and Peter came to shore, and what did he ask? He asked to use his boat. And why? So go out to the sea, so then he could reach more people. He could speak to more people.
Yep. It was a tool.
It was a tool for ministry. So just kind of thinking, and I'm curious, I'd love to hear comments. Do you think if Jesus walked the earth today, would he use social media to reach and teach? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, but that was a thought that came up today. So sorry to kind of throw that out there, but I think he would. I really think he would. And I think we have some very practical examples of tools that Jesus used there in ministry. So 2 reasons I would say absolutely yes, and I've already given one of them, and that's reach. Yeah. No matter where you are located, we've got people joining from Omaha, we've got people joining from Los Angeles, we've got people joining all over the country. And the reality is there's people in your community, no matter what community you live in, who are using social media. So here's just a couple of stats. I don't want to just like butcher you with stats this morning, but it's important to know the facts, okay? Because there's a lot of opinion out there, but let's look at the facts. So a couple of stats, one from Pew Internet, and this is from 2018, roughly 2/3 of US adults, 68%, now report that they are Facebook users. So this is just Facebook. Wow. This isn't even all the other social networks. Yeah. This is 68% now report that they're Facebook users. In 2019, and this is a different report according to eMarketer, great resource for those data nerds out there like myself. I love tools like this. In 2019, 90.4% of millennials, 90.4% of millennials,
a lot,
77.5% of Generation X,
wow,
and 48.2% of baby boomers were active social media users.
Wow.
Time and time again, we hear people, well, we want to reach younger people. We want to reach, this demographic. Guess what? Social media is a powerful tool to reach all of them. So a couple stats there. Last one, and this is just staggering. 321 million new people joined social media in 2019.
Wow.
So in addition,
my brain can't wrap itself around that.
Yes, all the billions that are already using it now, 321 million people, which gives us, so that brought the total from 3.48 billion in 2018 to 3.8 billion social media users, so an increase of 9% in 2020. Guess what? That's not slowing down. That's going to continue to increase. Yeah. So social media has enormous reach, no matter where you're located. I live in small town America, rural America, and guess what? Social media can be used to reach people here. Yeah. It's not just a big city thing. Right. It's in all these areas where our churches are located. Lastly, here, so we look at reach, and now we look at engagement. So it's not just about being this billboard or this brochure that we just broadcast, but it's actually a tool that we can use to engage people to drive action. Yeah. So one of the really neat things, I know you're all on Facebook right now. We've got some hearts already, which is the love emotion. So love, as it turns out, is the most powerful emotion, driving 46% of total reactions on Facebook, according to Social Pilot. 46%.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be awesome? And it kind of hits you in the heart. I mean, not trying to be funny, but like really, it kind of hits you in the heart. Like, wouldn't it be great if that was our reaction?
Mm-hmm.
That if that was the reaction we saw in the world today that we live in, that it was even greater than that was our response. Love was our response.
Wow.
So I saw that and I'm like, man, that's so awesome. Now let's take it outside of social media. I'll just leave that there. Right. I'm not gonna preach. So lastly, here under engagement, and this is just super applicable. So don't hear the stat and then just write it off as, well, that's not related to me, because it's super applicable. And that's 54% of social media browsers use social media to research products. So what that means is people are literally making buying decisions based on what they see on social media. If for 1 second you think that's not the same case in the church, you're wrong. They are making decisions based on what they see on social media. Or let me throw this little bit of a news flash out there. If you're not there, they're also making decisions based on that, which means you're not there.
Definitely. Yeah.
So definitely some things to consider there. So to answer the question, does my church really need to use social media? I think we've emphatically answered that. Yes. Yeah. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what you should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, Ron, if a church does not have a social media presence, and if it's one of the 90% of the millennials or 77% of the Gen X, they see that there's no social media presence for a church, and they interpret that as this church is not up to date or aware of current issues or what's going on, and it's not a fresh church, and that's scary. We want we want the church to grow in every sense of the way. So it's so important for a church to have a website. I mean, we cannot express that more than right now. So that actually leads me, Ron, into the next question that I want to talk about. We get this question occasionally on the support team from church leaders who are new to websites and kind of online presence. So I'm always glad when we have people ask this question because it opens up such a good conversation. So does a church need a church website if they have a Facebook page already set up?
Yes, that's such a great question. I'm just going to answer it concisely. Yes. Yeah. So I want to do a quick comparison and maybe unpack that a little bit, because I'm sure there's people, potentially watching or will watch this later. And like, of course you say that you're a church, one of the pieces of software you offer is church websites. Well, let me unpack it a little bit. So your physical home base for your church is where you meet, right? So that's your building, whether it's a building you own or it's one you're renting. I know we've had people say that they're meeting in movie theaters or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, that is your physical home base. When you have gatherings, that's where you're telling people to go. When you go out and you hand out information, you invite people, you say, hey, join us. Here's our address. Come meet here. That's your home base. So would you go out and just randomly on a piece of property you don't own, you would go say, hey, we're going to start gathering here. We're going to promote it that we're going to gather here. This is, we're going to tell people to come. But yet we don't own it. So therefore, people can control what we say. Mm. They can even control if we can even meet there. So, all these factors that we just wouldn't do in our physical home base, like you don't own it. So therefore, people can censor what you say. They can tell you whether you can even meet there. They can tell you how to operate while you're there. You just wouldn't do that. Yeah. And your digital home base, you want it to be a place that you own, that's not being censored by somebody, that's not being controlled by some third-party resource who has the right to tell you. Like if you don't own it, that means somebody does, and they have the right to tell you what you can or can't put on there, unfortunately, because they own it. So you wouldn't do that in a physical church setting. So you shouldn't do it in a digital church home base either. So your church website should be your digital home base that you control, you own, you get to determine what is communicated through that platform. Yeah. So here's the truths. Okay. The truth is, and this is true with Facebook, which we're streaming live through Facebook. Yeah. They own it. It's theirs. If they wanted to turn it off, they can turn it off. Yeah. They own it. This is Facebook and all these social networks are for-profit businesses. Understand that. It is a privilege to be able to have a Facebook page and to be able to communicate it in this way. It is not a right. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but just the reality is they own it. Just like if somebody else owned a piece of property, they could dictate what you could or couldn't do on it. It's the same thing with Facebook. They own it. They get to determine the rules. So it's a great tool, but you have to play by the rules. And again, understand they can change the rules at any time. Mm-hmm. If there's things they can do, there's a lot of controversy going on right now on social media and censorship of content and all those sorts of things. And there's advertisers pulling out all kinds of stuff. I won't even, again, go down that rabbit hole either. But the point is, you want to have a home base that you control, that you don't have to live by anybody else's rules. It's your website. You can communicate what you want there, and it's not being censored. So do you need to have a church website if you have a Facebook page? Absolutely, because that is your digital home base, not any of your social media accounts, and that could include Facebook. Yeah. Yep. That's so good. And to all of you listeners, it may sound like we're saying kind of two different things. Yes, you need to be on social media. Yes, you need a church website, and both of those things are correct. Yes and yes. Yes and yes, exactly. You need both for the exact reasons that we've discussed here.
the majority of people are on social media. That's how people are making their decisions of where to go, what to buy, what church to attend. And yet you need to own your content. And by that, you need to be on your church website. So yes, you need a church website. Yes, you need to be on social media. Simple as that.
Yes. Yes.
So now that hopefully we've kind of established the need for social media, I'm going to take a quick break and see if everybody who's listening live, do you have any questions at this point? Have you had any even pushback on when you've tried to get on social media for your church, or you are in social media? What's been your experience? Has it been a really good experience? Have you been trying to figure out, what do I post on social media? Great. I created a Facebook page, but what now? I haven't posted for a couple months. So drop a comment below. Just overall, how are you feeling about social media with your church? Are you feeling excited, a little overwhelmed? Let us know. So we'll take a couple seconds here. Drop that comment here. We want to know kind of where you're feeling in this, because it can be new to some, or you might be on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter all day long, and it's a very natural platform for you to be on. So let us know where you're at, and we'll help speak specifically to that. So Ron, how should churches use social media? What does that actually look like in a very tangible way? We have Nikki, she just commented.
This is great.
This is awesome. Well, not awesome for you, but we'll talk about this, Nikki. You said we have too many admins on our Facebook page and they are posting over each other, reducing reach. You need a social media content calendar, Nikki, and we'll talk about that actually in a couple of seconds here. So yes, that's frustrating. Kind of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You need a lead, and everybody needs to understand their specific role. So Ron, let's take it away, and let's help Nikki here. How should churches use social media?
Yeah. So I really appreciate you, Nikki, posting that, because we're gonna talk about that. So first of all, when you get a lot of people involved, especially in a church setting, there's a lot of volunteers, and it's important, even with volunteers, that there's leadership.
Yeah.
That you're a team, you're coming together. But there still needs to be somebody there at your ministry that's responsible for the communication efforts there at your church. So the first thing I would say is praise the Lord. You have people that want to be involved, because there are so many places where just trying to get people to move to get now that's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Now it's leading those people. And we're going to talk about some of the things that you could do to start down that path. So number one, the leadership, and I would include the team on this, is define your goals. So what does success look like with your social media communication efforts, right? So what does success look like? Just like I've asked early on, what is the number one outcome you want to see with your church website? You should be asking the same thing as it relates to your social media efforts. So number one, define your goal. What that does is it starts to give tremendous clarity to all your volunteers, or maybe it's you. Maybe you're not blessed like Nikki, where you've got all these people who want to be involved and share stuff. And I know blessings can also feel like weights and curses sometimes. So I also get that. Don't want to act like that's not the case, because there are times like that. But defining your goals can really help bring tremendous clarity and unity into a group of volunteers like that. So that's what I would, number one, define your goals. And you can do that by saying, what does success look like for your social media efforts?
Yep. So Ron, for that specifically, what would an example of that be? So for me, I help manage social media for my church, for the young adult ministry specifically. So I make sure to post on Instagram, on our Facebook group. My goal is to increase communication to the young adults so that we will have people attending our events, and also so that our current young adults will invite their friends, their community to this event. Is that the type of goal you're talking about? Or do I need to dive even deeper on numbers for all the data heads out there?
Yeah. So you could go crazy here.
Right.
One of the really great things about digital communication tools is that there's so many analytics and metrics that you could look at. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's what we call vanity metrics, where things like reach, as far as from the perspective of, X number of people, watch this video. I'm not saying that that's not a metric that we should look at, but ultimately, each church needs to define what does success look like to them, because maybe it's, hey, we want to get 1,000 people to watch our live stream, or maybe we've had 1,000 people to watch our live stream on average, and we want to increase that by 10% over the next 12 weeks. Okay, that's a measurable, specific goal that you can really go after. And just based on what you unpacked there, Isabel, you would say then success for you is attendance of existing members, and then increased growth of attendance based on engaging and activating those existing members.
Yeah.
By the way, that is your greatest communication and outreach to are your people. We're called to go into all the world, and we're just using social media. Social media is not a replacement for that.
Yeah.
It's just a tool. So ultimately, in the example you just gave, I would say those are the two metrics. Now you could start looking at what are the sub metrics that we want to look at that are the key performance indicators to get us. And we use that all the time in our business. For different segments of our business, we have specific key performance indicators, and we want as few as possible that are truly the metrics that actually determine what's going to help us get to this desired outcome. And I know that may have been like, whoop, that's like business talk. That's not, but you just made it super practical. And that is, we want attendance of our existing membership, and we want growth based on activation of our existing members to invite new people in to this event. So I would say, how do you leverage social media then to do that?
Yeah, right. Because once we've established our goals, then that trickles down into what I am pushing out on social media. Nikki, which admins are even pushing out content on different groups or channels. So once you've established the goal, that's really what defines your next steps.
Yes. So number 2 in the how should my church use social media, keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I know after everything I just shared, it's like, really? Yes. Keep it simple. Literally, your goal could be, I want to increase attendance. I want to increase number of new visitors to our site over the next 90 days. Okay, that's great. That's a goal.
Yeah.
Specific. Now keep it simple. You do not need to leverage every social network on the planet to be able to do that. So what I would recommend, if you're not currently active in social media, or maybe you're just trying to really get your footing with social media and you're probably feeling a lot of overwhelm. If you're feeling overwhelmed regarding social media, type overwhelm in the comments. I guarantee you, I'm wondering who's going to be the first courageous person to admit what we all admit, even people who work in this field. Yeah. Like, it can be extremely, extremely overwhelming. So what I want to do is give you some tips right now that's going to take that overwhelm away. And the number one thing is start with one network. Start with one social media network. Don't feel like you've got to be, oh man, I've got to be on Facebook, and I've got to be on Instagram, and I've got to be on YouTube, and I've got to use Snapchat. Nikki, we gotta love that.
Love you.
I can't love that from here, but if I could, I would, because you get our Courageous Award today.
Yes, you
for
do.
saying what so many other people maybe hesitate to admit, because it's reality.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you have to do all of them. Just start with one, and the one that I would recommend you start with is Facebook. Facebook has enormous reach. Like I've shared, when we just shared tons of statistics based on that. I would start with Facebook, really fine tune that. Build your team. If you've got multiple people, like Nikki, Pamela, she just agreed, definitely overwhelmed. So let's make it smaller. Let's not take this, universe of social media networks, which is overwhelming, period. And let's just make it smaller and say, let's just focus on Facebook. Here's our goal. We want to increase church attendance over the next 90 days by X, and I would give a specific number, whether it's a percentage increase over the previous 90 days, or it could just be a number of visitors you would like to see come over that 90-day span. And then say, okay, I'm going to use Facebook to do that. Now, how do I use Facebook to do that? And we're actually going to give you some specific ideas here next on exactly how you can do that. So, number one, define your goals. Number two, keep it simple. I'm just a simple guy and I don't like overwhelm, and you don't probably either. So keep it simple. Start with Facebook. And I would just encourage you, just on average, there might be some people who I would recommend differently depending on skill sets and team and your ministry. But in general, Facebook is going to be the place we'd recommend you start. So thirdly, create your social media content calendar. You're like, what in the world are you even talking about? I got enough calendars to deal with. I've got my Google calendar and my Outlook calendar and my whatever calendar. We got church calendars, pastors' calendars. I totally get it. And we're going to simplify that. So ultimately, your social media calendar basically unifies your team around a goal. And now you're saying, with specific content, how are we going to achieve that goal? Okay, so for an example, I know some people that we talked about earlier on, it's about engagement of your existing membership. So the example that we're going to give is actually based on that, but we could easily give an example to say based on new attendance and achieving that goal. So just understand, we would say the goal of this is engaging our existing membership. So we're going to give you literally ideas for every day of the week, what you can post. A little over a year ago, I got to have a time, had my pastor over, had coffee. We were talking about these things. And I shared just this thought of how, for many people, when you come and sit down in your church and you hear the message, you almost get like this message whiplash. It's this message that God has unpacked to the pastor all throughout the week, or maybe even months, potentially. And then a church member sits down and in an hour has all that just like get in your head, right?
Tidal wave.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things we've talked about, and he's done an amazing job of communicating throughout the week to kind of help us unpack some of those things. So what I'm going to do is give some examples specifically related to that. So if we start with Sunday, if you're live streaming your services, which based on everything that's going on in the world, Lord willing, your church is live streaming. If they're not, stay tuned. We're going to show you how you can, even with minimal, with the tools you have right now, how you can live stream your services. So number one, Sunday, that would be your live stream of your service. Okay. So on Monday then, so when you live stream, and there's settings you can do, but most by default, when you live stream, it's automatically going to post that video in your stream as well as under a videos tab inside of Facebook. Isn't that awesome? You don't have to do anything. You just live stream, you end the live stream, and it's going to post to those places. Check, done. You got Sunday's post complete. Monday, ask practical questions regarding practical application of the Sunday sermon. It's not just about, hey, we're going to come and get you all this information, but actually, okay, what was something that stood out to you in the sermon today? We've actually changed some things at our church with our Sunday school time, where there's like a question time in small groups where, and I know a lot of churches do this, where it's like you discuss what was preached. Well, you can do that through social media and drive engagement from the Sunday sermon right there through social media. So now you're getting people engaged in the conversation. Guess what happens? Engaged people engage others. That's so important. Engaged people in your ministry are going to start engaging with their fellowship of believers, as well as even people outside of that. So you can give questions for practical application of the Sunday sermon on Monday. Tuesday. So typically in your services, you're going to have a song time. I hesitate saying praise and worship time because I think the whole service is praise and worship time. But everybody knows the song time. So you're going to have your song list. So share that. Here's the song list from Sunday service. Which song was your favorite?
I love that.
Just ask that. Ask that question. That's such a great idea. So now you can start engaging them even in that context based on the Sunday morning service.
And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. You can just add the song name and the artist. You can even link, if you have a Spotify channel, or you can link to the YouTube song or the music video. So there's a lot of fun different ways that you can add that on your Facebook page. Specifically, that's what we're talking about. But really, you can do that for Instagram, Twitter, any of the platforms here. And then like Ron said, that encourages people to share content. So I love music. That's one of my favorite. Well, you can't say it's one of my favorite parts of going to Sunday church because it all is, but worship just, I love that. And I love sharing that on my personal Instagram and on my personal Facebook. So when churches post that super easy content to share, you are making it really, really simple for your church members to hit share and say, loved this song that I worshiped with on Sunday. It's speaking to me right now. And that can open up so many amazing conversations that a church member can have with their own Facebook friends, with their own social media network. So it may seem simple almost. I mean, like we said, keep it simple. It is. It's so simple. And God can use that to create amazing conversations.
Yes. And I think the really cool thing about this is that a lot of churches hesitate. It's like, oh, I have to create so much content.
Right.
Well, the reality is you're already creating a tremendous amount of content for your, and I'm saying Sunday, but like your Sunday service, you're creating tons of content. Use that.
Yeah.
Use that content to continue to minister to people all throughout the week.
Yeah. I love that.
Wednesday, prayer requests. Ask for prayer requests. And you can tell them, hey, if it's something they can post publicly, put it in the comments below. Otherwise, send us a message and we would love to pray for you. There's churches I've seen that are members of ChurchSpring that actually just won this week. I actually clicked on it. He was live stream and it was a prayer service. Yeah. And he was taking prayer requests in through, it was YouTube in this example, and people were sending in prayer requests and he was praying for them.
Wow.
Like, that's awesome.
I love that.
Like, let's look at how do we, I don't want to say leverage, but how do we use these tools for ministry? It's not just about blasting communication. It's about ministry and using these tools in ministry. So Wednesday, ask for prayer requests. You may even do a live stream based on that. That's another idea. Thursday, share the scripture passages that are going to be the focus of Sunday's message. Okay. So this is where you kind of transition. Kind of Wednesday's the beginning of that transition. But then Thursday, you kind of start this like turning your head into this new week of what's coming. So share the passages. Start to unpack what's going to be shared on Sunday so people can start preparing their hearts. There's when our pastor started doing this in our church, we had an elderly couple that moved into the area. And one of the really cool things was my pastor started sharing this. And this gentleman would actually go and find all the verses online and print them all off and read them and like put notes and questions. And he would bring those sheets of paper to church. I see him as I run the live stream at my church. I look over and see him sitting there in his chair, and he's got all these sheets printed out and his notes, and he's writing notes. And it's so cool where it wasn't like he just then showed up on Sunday morning and, but he actually was able to start preparing his heart and getting in line with what the Lord had for him on Sunday all throughout the end of that week coming into Sunday. So just a simple idea. Share the scripture passage for the things that are going to be shared on Sunday. And then Friday. So again, you could just tell them, we look forward to seeing you. The message title, I know, sometimes pastors are it's coming together at the last minute as the Lord's revealing that. So it can be last minute, just here's a sermon title, or here's some resource, or here's a question that we're going to consider. Or you could even do a, actually, I'm going to hold that because that's going to be my Saturday, my Saturday thing. But start continuing to build and layer in things that are going to be shared. It could even be, maybe there's a great article on a blog post, or maybe, again, it's another passage of scripture. Maybe it's a question to consider. Those are all great things that you could share on Friday. And then what I was so excited about to share on Saturday, invite your friends.
Yeah.
Give a call to action. Invite your friends.
Yep.
We all need promptings. We all need promptings.
Yeah.
In social media, I mean, you could even give specific action items. Invite 3 of your local friends to join you for church this Sunday, and then take them out to lunch, or whatever that may look like in your context. But like, have a call to action. It could be updates. It could be events. Invite a friend. but things also that you can continue to share to prepare people's hearts for the message that's to come. So anyway, we basically just gave you here's specific a social media calendar of what you can do to leverage content you already have.
Yeah.
That's already being created.
Already creating. Right.
Yes.
That's amazing. Nikki has a really good question. She just asked, on the Monday and Tuesday posts, do you link back to the video of the previous service?
Yeah, I absolutely would.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Because you never know how many people make, whether they had a sickness, an illness, or they were on vacation or whatever. So be able to continue to link back to that. Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Yep. So Nikki, I am actually going to show you how you can schedule sermons to your Facebook page with ChurchSpring's social scheduler. So you can schedule a sermon. Well, I'll show you in a couple minutes. I'll show you how you can do that.
But that is the social scheduler inside of ChurchSpring. And again, it's available on our Flourish plan, which is our top tier plan, because there's just tons of resources available there. But that tool is I believe is one of the most underutilized tools, and it's so easy. So I can't wait for you to share that, Jim. We'll just be quiet and get into it. So are there any questions? Let's just look down through comments here. I liked Johnny's comment, as the Lord's revealing it is a great way to describe procrastination. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I'm going to, always think positive, give the benefit of the doubt. So anyway, that's awesome.
And that's why a social media content calendar just helps. It lays out the outline, what to expect. Everybody's expecting the same thing. You have that out in front of you. So it helps prevent that procrastination.
Yes. Johnny gets our second courage award for probably speaking what many people who are watching and will watch will be thinking as we go through that. So anyway, that's awesome.
That's great. So Ron, we have covered a lot of content right now. Super helpful information. Again, for everybody who's listening live, you will be able to access the show notes or a recording of this at ChurchSpring.com/CSL007. So that content calendar that Ron just went through, we'll include that in the show notes. So now it's a lot of information. What do we do, Ron?
Yes.
What do we do with all of this information? How I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. What do I do with all this energy?
Yes. So now it's time for action, right? Yeah. Simplicity, keep it simple, and let's start taking strategic action moving forward. It's all about making the plan and execute the plan. So we've given you a plan. Now it's time for execution. So Isabel's actually going to show us the first one, and it's super easy. And that is put these social media links on your church website. So Isabel's going to show you to do that. So I'm just going to not unpack that. Isabel will do that for us. Yeah. Number 2, create a social media content calendar. We basically just did that for you. Yeah. Now it's time to reserve time on your calendar, maybe assign it out to someone of who's going to do specific things. Mm-hmm. Nikki, I believe it was earlier, mentioned about, people posting over each other. This is a great opportunity. Assign these out. Say, hey, so-and-so, it's your job on Mondays to post these things. It's so-and-so's job on Tuesday to post these things. So now everybody's in sync with each other with that. So create that content calendar and assign things out to the different resources. And then, drum roll, go and download our free 101 social media posts. Yeah. And you can get that on our website shortly after we wrap up here. And that, again, ChurchSpring.com/CSL007. We'll have a link. You don't even have to give us your email. You literally click. You can download those and go use them however you want. So we've already told you, you're already creating content. Use it. You don't have to come up with anything new. And now on top of that, we've given you 101 posts you can start using today. Yeah. So go download those. Again, 101 social media posts, ChurchSpring.com/CSL007. If you're not currently a member of ChurchSpring, and I know we have people, we have thousands of people on our email list that we invite that don't use ChurchSpring. That's fine. We hope you can get value in your own context, whatever tools you're using. Doesn't matter to us. Just use them and reach your community with the gospel. So if you are interested in learning more about ChurchSpring, specifically even the social scheduler, even more so than how Isabel's going to unpack it, join us for a demo, ChurchSpring.com/demo. You can choose the time that best fits your schedule. Join myself as well as our co-founder and then our teams in chat during business hours, where we will literally show you how you can launch a website in 90 seconds and a lot of the key features of that, one of which is our social media scheduler. So go check that out, churchspring.com/demo. And if you're like, hey, Ron, I don't need to attend a demo, I'm just ready to kick the tires on this thing. This thing sounds amazing. You can do that right now and launch your church website in less than 90 seconds. churchspring.com/trial. Create the account or select the account that best fits your specific needs. Again, the social media schedulers and the Flourish plan. Mm-hmm. So if you want the social media scheduler, that is in our top tier plan. And man, I just want to bust into all the things that we're planning for new features in that, but I'm not going to. So stay tuned. It will be well worth it. And I will say, in the not so distant future, that plan price is going to increase just because of some of the new features we're going to be rolling out. So that's a heads up that we weren't even planning on giving, but I'm going to give it to you all. If you're not currently on the Flourish plan and you want to be, go sign up for it or upgrade to it. I think we had a question earlier about the 20% discount. Yep. If you have an existing 20% discount and then you upgrade, you continue to get that. That stays with you during the entire lifetime of your account. So I think that's all I'm going to say because that was a lot. But if you are interested in signing up and putting into action what we've talked about, leveraging our social scheduler, churchspring.com/trial, you can do that. Can we upgrade to the Flourish plan, Douglas? You absolutely can. All you have to do is log into your church website, and it's pretty easy to find, change plan, select the new plan you want with the Flourish plan, and you're ready to go.
Yeah. Yep. And Douglas, you'll find that in the settings of your website. And then once you click settings, you'll have your settings dashboard. And on the right side, you'll see, I think it's a button called Manage Plan. You'll click that and then just follow the prompts. So if you have any questions or run into any issues, just shoot us a support ticket in your settings and we'll help you out there.
Absolutely. It's time for show and tell.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You ready? All right, share that screen.
So I'm going to walk through, everybody, how we can schedule website content straight automatically to your social media channels. So I'm going to share my screen right here. I'll take off that banner. And Ron, as you were talking or walking through the social media content calendar, I thought, oh, that would be so neat to do a ChurchSpring Live on how to actually create all that content on your website and post it on social media. So on, I think it was Tuesdays, we said, let's post your worship set list. You can create a blog article and automatically have that push out on your social media. So my brain over here was just exploding with all the ideas. But for now, we are just going to focus here on social media scheduler. So as Ron mentioned, the social media scheduler is available in our top plan, the Flourish level. Yes, you can upgrade at any time. Any coupon codes that you've used will automatically transfer over with you. And also any content, by the way, that you have on your website, that sticks with your website. So you won't lose anything. I know that I've had some customers reach out concerned about that, and that stays with you. So our social media scheduler is an amazing tool that will truly save you so much time and stress. And it's built right within your website. So you don't have to have 15 tabs. Ron, that's how many tabs he closed today when we were preparing for our ChurchSpring Live. So cutting out one tab.
And I still have 15 open. I think I eliminated about 45. So I don't know if there's any other tab addicts out there. Hopefully I'm not alone in that. But anyway.
You guys need a support group.
We do. Totally. Yes. We totally do.
So with the social media scheduler, you can automatically schedule your sermons, your blog articles, and your events. So you can schedule those updates to your Facebook and your Twitter accounts. I'll show you the technical aspect of how you can connect those accounts. But first, I want to show you how easy it is to schedule a sermon on my sermons page here to Facebook or Twitter. So your first step is that you will need to create your sermon, event, or blog article. So I'm just going to go into my summer series sermon that I have already created here. And we have we have a couple other ChurchSpring Lives that we talk about sermons. So if you have questions about sermons, let us know. We can send you some resources for that. But you will just scroll down to the bottom of your section here, and you'll see social media schedule for this event, sermon, blog, etc. I actually went ahead and I already scheduled a post on July 6th so that you could see when you do schedule content and it's in the past, you will still see it in this little social timeline. So you won't have to be wondering, oh, did we schedule a post on Facebook for that sermon? And instead of having to scroll through on your Facebook page, because if you're posting consistently, you can be scrolling for a while. You can just go to that sermon, event, or blog and check it out here. And you'll see the date and that it's faded out, and you'll be able to see that it did post. So that's a really cool feature that I personally love. To add or to schedule a new post, you'll simply click the plus icon on this little timeline, and then you'll select the social media profile that you want to post on. So you can select either your Facebook or Twitter account. You can choose both. You don't have to choose either or. It automatically connects to your accounts that you've already set up in your website settings. You select the post date. So let's say if I want something to post tomorrow, Friday, at let's say 10 a.m. Let's go 10 a.m. You can easily select that post time. And then we also have different post types. So you can select a link post, and that right here, you'll see that example. You can add some text, listen to our new sermon, and then it also pulls this this text description from your sermon description that you've updated up here. So same thing with an event or a blog. It'll pull about the first sentence or so in this description here. And then you also have the option just to select the image without that description, or you can even just select a text. And this will not link back to that event, sermon, or blog. But it's a great way if you just want to schedule something to be pushing out that's related to the sermon or related to your church. So I'll go back to the link post. That's personally my favorite. I think it gives it's kind of social best practices. It gives the visitor a sneak peek and encourages them to click through. So you can, again, type any text that you want here. And then all you have to do is click schedule post. And you will hit save. And so you'll see here that since I selected both Facebook and Twitter, it automatically scheduled on Facebook, my Facebook page, and on my Twitter account. And you can see there that we have little icons that will let you know at a quick glance which channel it's posting to. You'll hit save, and that's all you need to do. You just scheduled 2 posts on 2 different channels right within your website. You can click to edit your sermon, and you can take a look at any scheduled events that you have, and again, any previous scheduled posts. So it's so simple. I love it. If you are on the Flourish plan, I want you this week, I want you to go in and schedule something on your Facebook page, whether it's a sermon, event, or blog. It takes a couple of seconds. So amazing feature. I love it. I want to show you real quick how to set that up. So it will be in your settings of your website. Again, I'm on the Flourish plan right now. So if you're on our Sprout or Grow, your settings will be at the top right section. You'll click into the website tab, click the social media option. And here, again, if you have Flourish, you'll see 2 options, social media information and social media scheduling. So if you are wanting to set up your social media scheduler, so what I just showed you, where you can automatically post that to your Facebook page, then you will follow the prompts here that will say, click to connect your account. So I've already connected my account, so it says click to disconnect. But you'll simply click this Facebook, Twitter icon, a pop-up will appear, follow those prompts, and you can select one channel for each, one account for each channel. For Facebook, it cannot be a private account, and I mean, you will not want that. You want to be posting or connecting your church Facebook page, or even maybe your church Facebook group, if that's how you're set up right now. So follow those prompts. If you have any questions about this, send in a ticket, because we want to make sure that you can set it up. It's an easy process, but again, if you have if you run into any issues, reach out to us and we'll help you with that. The other thing that Ron actually mentioned in his action steps, and that was to add your social media links to your website. So the awesome thing about ChurchSpring is that we make it really easy for you to add those social media website links. You don't have to add some new separate plugin. All you have to do is, in the same section in your settings, website tab, social media, in the social media information block, you'll simply add your social media platform links for your church account. So for ChurchSpring, I just wanted to grab. I should say, for if you're new to Facebook, even if that's one of your action steps, create a Facebook page for your church. You'll go ahead, create your Facebook page. We could even do another Facebook Live for that. And to grab your URL for your Facebook page, you just grab what's in the search bar right here. So just copy that and then go over to your ChurchSpring website, and then you can paste that entire link in your social media information. That's the easiest way, instead of typing it in. Same thing with your Twitter account, with your YouTube and Instagram account. Go to that platform, copy that URL, and then paste it in here. And again, you want your church's social platforms on this social media information, not your personal platforms. So you'll always hit the save button. And then when you go back to your website, I'll show you where those social media buttons are automatically updated and will link to your social accounts. So we follow website best practices. We add your social media icons to the footer throughout your entire website. And when someone clicks on your Facebook social icons here, it will automatically link them to that social account. So I have slow Wi-Fi here with live streaming. So it's kind of slow to pull up here, but whatever you're linking to, it'll pull up. And if you ever change your social handle or your social name URL, you can just go to your settings, update that URL, and it will update across your website automatically. So super simple, easy. If you have not set up your social accounts on your website, go ahead and do that today, because it takes, 60 seconds, not even. And that can help integrate all of your online presence. That was a lot of information. Woo! I hope everybody's still with me.
Yes, they are. This is awesome. Well, very good. Thank you so much for walking through that. And I think we've demonstrated, both from a content strategy as well as in the tool itself, how you can very quickly and easily get those pieces of content scheduled to make it super actionable, super easy to implement. And now it's time to execute on those things. So that's our encouragement for you, is to go and do that. Real quickly, again, for those that are watching that maybe aren't currently on the Flourish plan, if you are a current ChurchSpring member, go ahead and upgrade to the Flourish plan, and you'll have access to everything that Isabel just shared. And like I shared earlier, but I don't think I quite landed the plane, so I wanted to circle back around to that, is that we are going to be increasing the price of the Flourish plan in the not so distant future. So to lock in your price, where your price won't increase even as we add all these new features that are coming down the pike, go ahead and upgrade now. If you wait to upgrade later, you may be paying a little bit more for it. So just want to throw that out there for those that want to take advantage of that, start utilizing that tool, and also take advantage of the savings. So power-packed episode. Lots of information today. Again, you can go check out the show notes for this, as well as download the 101 free social media posts. You can do that on our website at churchspring.com/CSL007. That will be posted very shortly after we end our live today. So hopefully that was helpful. It's been so cool hanging out with you guys. Next week, we've got another great episode coming up. And we talked a lot about, as we set goals, that there's metrics and there's things that we look at. So next week's episode, we're going to talk about how to track the performance of your church website and how you can better serve your new visitors and existing church members based on your website analytics. So you don't want to miss this. Nope. We're going to cover a lot of great information. Many of you may not even be utilizing the tool called Google Analytics, but it's free, and it's a tool that can give you tons of insight on how your website is currently performing and what are some of the changes you need to make to help you accomplish the goal that you want for that number one outcome of your church website. So don't miss. Be there. We will be posting and sending out an email. If you have questions, specific questions, please let us know those ahead of time or even post them in the comments. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. Yeah. You're very welcome, Nikki. We love that you're here. So it's great to see. We got like regulars. I feel like we're like a restaurant that has like regulars that are coming. So it was great to see you again here today. Yeah. Excuse me. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And again, if you are not currently on the Flourish plan, go take advantage of it and get posting and leveraging the incredible tool that social media is. So thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Is your church website a source of pain and frustration? Well, I have great news for you. Those days are over. I'm Ron Gibson, the co-founder of ChurchSpring, and I'm excited to show you the most intuitive, affordable, and yes, frustration-free church website platform on the planet. Welcome to ChurchSpring. Organizing your navigation has never been easier. With our inline editing and drag and drop capabilities, you can reorganize your menus in no time. Want to add a slider to the homepage? Simply select a slider layout, customize the content, click Save, and you're done. Ready to take your homepage up a notch by adding a video background? Just go to the background menu, choose the video you want, and that's it. You're ready to go. See something that needs updated on your website? No need to mess with a difficult back-end system. Just click on the content, make your changes, click Save, and it's live. Is managing your church calendar a time-consuming and painful endeavor? With ChurchSpring, managing your online church calendar is an absolute breeze. Click to add an event, enter the details, add registration if desired, set it to repeat if needed, and click Save. It's incredibly simple. Now it's time to leverage the power of social media to promote your event, sermon, or blog post. With the ChurchSpring Social Scheduler, simply create your social media posts in seconds and will automatically post to your ministry social media channels. Isn't that awesome? Just think of all the time this powerful feature will save you. Just choose your file, add some details while it uploads, click Save, and it's ready to play. But Ron, what happens when I'm ready to give my website a fresh new look? I'm glad you asked. As a member of ChurchSpring, you get full access to our entire library of premium church website designs. You can simply click and change your website's entire design with just a click of a button. It's really that easy. This is just a quick sampling of ChurchSpring's many powerful features. Want to see more? Great. Visit churchspring.com/demo to join me for an in-depth look at more of ChurchSpring's top features such as online giving, live video streaming, and much, much more. Visit us online at churchspring.com/demo. Welcome to the most intuitive, affordable, and yes, frustration-free church website platform on the planet. Are you ready to go? Great. Sign up for your 7-day free trial now and launch your brand new church website in just 90 seconds flat. Simply visit churchspring.com/go to launch your new website today.